Hey everyone, I'm Tenamane. Welcome to Pretty Privilege. So today's video, I want to just go ahead and get straight into it. The first part of this video is actually going to be me talking just a little bit in a nutshell as to why I don't have a television. If you guys can see right behind me, I have some flowers and I have some flowers in the wall. This is where my television used to be mounted. You see the flowers over there? And then I have an actual alarm clock, like right here. The reason why I don't have a television is because 2 years ago in August of 2023, I was getting ready to go back to school and I knew that I was gonna be on my computer a lot. And you know, as a stay-at-home mom, I gave birth in 2021. I always loved, even from like a young age, I always loved watching movies. I love watching television shows. You know, I've always been like a big TV junkie. But after I knew like I was going to be going back to school, I really wanted to disconnect from an additional screen I knew I was not ever going to need again. I needed my computer for homework and schoolwork, even though I was going to be on campus and then doing, I think I did like one online class, and I also do need my phone. However, I knew for a fact I wasn't going to be needing my television because of, I feel like just because of the whole going from screen to screen to screen wasn't going to be stimulating from me, and I knew for a fact I wasn't going to be happy, you know, if I was just always on top of a screen, like on a screen for doing homework, on a screen for my entertainment, and then on a screen like on my phone if in the event I needed it. So I really wanted to go ahead and disconnect from one of them, and so it had to be my television. I had it dismounted, and then true story, you guys, I was gonna go ahead and pawn it, but instead I just took it to like this side dumpster at like a 99-cent store, and I just left it there. I was gonna like throw it inside of the trash, but it was really heavy for me and I wasn't gonna lift it. So I just left it on the side of the trash dumpster, and then I drove off. And I feel like that was one of the best things that I've ever done in my life, because it really, not having a television for 2 years now has really taught me more about just being in the moment, being present, like when we're home especially. And it's taught me a lot more about patience. You know, it's really easy just to come home after a long day and to turn on the TV and to have the TV let you relax and just unwind you and just to take your mind to like somewhere else. But I feel like in not having a television, it's just grounded me in different ways to where I now channel my energy into unwinding myself, like doing breathing work, doing journaling, self-expression. I love like reading magazines and books, and I personally really do like it. My daughter has never had like a big issue with it, and also because we still go to like the AMC. We love the movie theaters. We'll go maybe like twice a month, and twice a week for at least maybe like an hour and a half, I'll let her watch cartoons on top of my laptop, and she'll watch like Paw Patrol, Sesame Street, like Miss Rachel, shows like that, like for kids and where they're also learning. But you know, I don't consider us 100% screen free, and I don't consider really anybody to be 100% screen free, because I mean, nowadays, you know, with like phones and with technology, you know, in some places it does require for us to be on a screen. But that's just like my story in a nutshell as to why I got rid of the television. And in this next part of the video, I'm just going to be sharing like some tips and recommendations that has also helped me transition into being completely fine with not having a television. So just to let you guys know, like I said, we do go to the movies twice a month, maybe like once or twice a month, honestly. And on Friday nights, we do watch a movie or like a show together with my daughter and I. And on Sundays, she is allowed to watch like maybe a show. And since I am still in school, I'm getting my bachelor's right now, I am on my computer quite often, like for school, content creation, I'm on my phone, but I don't look to a device for entertainment. I look to like books and going out to the park. I love swimming for my form of entertainment. With some of the tips and recommendations, some may be for you, some may not. Just take whatever, resonates or whatever you might find helpful. And yeah, so I hope this part of the video, you guys enjoyed. Listen for the audio part next. So aloha. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Hello everyone. So welcome to the audio part of this video. I'm just going to go ahead and get into all of these tips and recommendations. So let's start with number 1. Use a physical planner, a planner needing a pencil and an eraser to write and correct with, or one with a dry erase, which you can buy at stores like Walmart, Target, Amazon, or even the Dollar Tree. My school planners are purchased from the Dollar Tree since they're inexpensive. They have different designs on them and are lightweight to carry around. They're perfect and they fit in your work bag, school bag, or just to keep in your office area. Now, if you do not enjoy writing on a physical planner, but are still really wanting to decrease the time spent on a screen, then another idea is using a physical planner one season out of the year just to get a hang of the feel and touch of a real planner rather than using your phone as a planner or a calendar. Tip number 2 is replace screen usage in the restroom with magazines, books, crossword puzzles, or newspapers. Okay, I know this one may seem a little bit funny, but before we had devices we could take anywhere with us, there were reading materials typically available in places like restrooms or common areas. And in my bathroom, I do have reading material on my shelf that I enjoy reading. At first, probably like 3 years ago, I would always want to browse on my phone, like while I'm just in the restroom area, but over time I became more comfortable with turning off the screen and channeling my energy towards reading instead. So I hope that tip helps. Number 3, 1 to 2 nights before you go out to the grocery store, when you go grocery shopping, use a pencil and a paper for your list rather than your phone. Similar to number 1, if you are not big on pencils or paper, try using it every other time you grocery shop instead. So it doesn't have to be, each time you grocery shop, but, just take breaks in between every other, or maybe 1 every 2 times or whatnot. It will still decrease the amount of time spent on a screen to where you won't be so dependent on a device. And this is another personal tip that I use every time I do go shopping. Maybe once in like the past 2.5 months is when I did use my phone, but other than that, pencil and paper is the way to go. Next tip, divert your kids' energy with music and hands-on time. Not having a TV at home, in the beginning, it did feel a little bit weird, but now after 2 years, my daughter and I found other ways to keep ourselves occupied with books, toys, puzzles, blocks, and games is what we really do enjoy doing when we're at home, all the while listening to music. When it's time to clean up or when getting ready to eat, I also do allow my child, and you guys can do this too, if you have kids, but allow your kids some form of responsibility, like helping take out the trash or setting the table during dinner time. These are great small responsibilities that they can learn from. And while doing these tasks, I still recommend playing music, but not when dinner is about to start, which leads me to my next tip. No devices at the dinner table, ever, or eating table, whatever you want to call it. No devices at the dinner table and no devices on your bed, ever. If it is not a life or death emergency, there's absolutely no need for your device to eat or sleep with you, period. Next tip, I'm actually not numbering these tips, I'm just kind of going through my list, but with each and every tip I'll just let you know if I'm coming onto a new one or not. So this is the next tip, is to limit screen usage in the morning to less than 10 minutes if you're an uncontrollable scroller. So I had to do this as well in the past too,
But once you open your phone, go to the alarm settings and set the alarm for 10 minutes. Once that alarm goes off in 10 minutes, log off or exit out from whatever app or website you're on and continue on with your daily duties. Using your phone or your device for work, business, or school, that's understandable, but for recreational uses, that includes hours and hours spent on it. To me, it's really just unnecessary. This next tip may be a little bit tricky for some, but create your own office hours. I know, like I said, it's going to be a bit tricky because everybody has a different situation, but the main takeaway from creating your own office hours is not to take your work home with you. When you log onto any device for work, let it be your phone, your computer, your tablet, use that time specifically for work and work only. I understand, money and your career is important because we all have to eat, right? But to a certain extent, you need to know when to cut it with working hours. It's not healthy, and I've done this before as well too, but it's not healthy to fall asleep in front of a screen day after day because you're just working yourself to death. Designate responsibilities from what needs to get done ASAP to what has to get done within the next 2 weeks. Be organized, be mindful, and intentional about your time when you're on a screen. Creating your own office hours makes you lock in once that device is turned on to the minute you turn it off. I personally do turn off my phone and my computer each and every time I am done using it until the next time where I have to go ahead and turn it on. But I'm not the type of person who always has to check their phone every 10 to 15 minutes or their emails or whatnot. I don't allow for that to interfere with my personal life. And this is the why is because I've created my own office hours. Next tip, one of my favorites, replace your phone alarm with an actual alarm clock. Now, you guys seen in the beginning of this video, I had an actual alarm clock. I've been using that for over 2 years now, and I love it. In the morning, it is kind of annoying because I do have to physically wake up in the morning. It's in my living room and I stay in the bedroom area, but you have to get out of bed to turn it off. And this is definitely not for the lazies because even if it did have a snooze button, you would still have to get your booty up to go ahead and turn it off. But this is a great tip I recommend, if you don't want to use your phone alarm or if you're one who always hits the snooze button. Next tip, invest in a library card and spend time at your local library. Borrow books, magazines, newspapers, attend a neighborhood meeting. A lot of libraries, they do have events that you and your family or your friends can attend, and they're usually always free. But, just contact your local library. And I feel like going to the library and even investing in a library card is a really great outlet as to just decreasing time spent on a screen. It's a great way, just even for a few hours a week to kind of just get out and just to see what else is going on in your neighborhood. Next tip, volunteer. I became an animal shelter volunteer, I want to say since last Thanksgiving. Yeah, so Thanksgiving of 2024. And I found out how much I enjoyed playing with animals, which was a great way for me to be screen free for a few hours a week. If you're not an animal person, you can read to kids, you can read to the elderly, you can volunteer with an organization you want to learn more about. Whatever works for you. Volunteering is a great way just to get out and you don't have to be on your screen. And whatever you decide, the main takeaway is helping those in need. Next tip is a fairly simple one. Rather than listening to your phone in the car in the morning or whenever you're going back home, turn on the AM or FM stations. I like to do this sometimes. I love NPR. I love classical music. My taste buds is very eclectic, but turning on the radio actually does feel nicer sometimes than having to fidget with different stations on Pandora. Next tip, oh, one of my favorites, sports. I love swimming, you guys. I really do. I'm a former lifeguard, and a great way to be screen free for fun is finding a sport you love doing, a sport you wouldn't mind spending a whole day doing. You know, it's just one of those activities where you just get going, you exercise, and you just have a good time. Whether it be a land or an aquatic exercise, you know, it doesn't have to be strenuous either, but just get moving and put that device away for a while. If you're not big on sports, try finding, you know, a hobby instead. Maybe you like to sew, maybe you like to work on cars, maybe you like to collect stamps. Just find an interest that keeps you motivated, that keeps you moving and wanting to learn more about is really fun. Next tip, get rid of irrelevant apps, year-old photos, videos, and games on your phone. Most likely they don't have any value, and since they don't at all they're doing is just taking up valuable space in your phone. So just get rid of them. Next tip, delete social media. That's all I'm going to say about it. Just delete social media. Go social media free for a week. You know, if you're not able to do a week, just start off with one day. You know, just start small. I've been Facebook free since I think it was 2012, 2013. And I've been Snapchat free, I want to say for like over, I think like 6 years now, you guys. So I don't have any social media except for this YouTube channel. And yeah, I mean, I personally like it. My last and final tip, if none of these worked for you, is to get professional help. Look, okay, I'm not a doctor. I have my Associate of Arts, but I'm not a doctor. These are all just recommendations and tips. These have worked for me when I went screen free and have been life-changing since then. In the past, I would spend hours, and I mean hours, you guys, in front of a screen. I would be obsessed with needing to be on Snapchat. I would always check my Facebook, and I just really wouldn't care about what was going on outside of the internet world, of the gossip world. And you know, these tips and recommendations that I just gave to you guys, you know, I implement, I practice what I preach, and I've been doing them. You know, I'm not on social media. I don't have irrelevant apps on my phone. I love swimming, but get help, you know, professional help if none of these, you know, worked for you. And if some of them did, then I'm glad. You know, I want you to know that some habits can take years to break, and it doesn't happen overnight. Give yourself a pat on the back for even thinking about wanting to decrease the amount of time you spend on your screen, because you clicked on this video for a reason. Like I said, you know, devices are amazing, but that's no reason to be a slave to it. We created technology, we run technology, we humans, I'm talking about us, and it's not the other way around. You know, sometimes I feel like people are so quick to turn to a device to entertain them, to make them feel better. They want technology to just to fill them up. And I'm here to tell you guys that it doesn't take for technology to fill us up 100% completely. Don't allow it to get the best of you. And I just want for you to be able to create your own happiness with or without a device. So I hope you're able to take one tip and apply it in your life. Thank you guys, you know, so much for watching. Thank you for listening. I'm Tenamane. This is Pretty Privilege. Y'all take care.